It's not even Halloween yet, and we're about to get spooky? Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 7 of Dragon Striker. And last time we met Peregrina, I think her name is, the leader of the Shadows team. And she is a creepy little girl. She's tiny, she's very chibi-ish, but she's also incredibly unnerving. And I love it. I love characters like this. I love creepy aspects, scary aspects to shows that typically aren't scary. And so this is right up my alley. And she's not, like, actually scary or anything, but just that kind of vibe. That kind of, like, spoopy vibe you see in a lot of these kinds of shows. Milo, though, is terrified of her and of ghosts, which she can control using her Tama. Apparently real fucking ghosts, too, which is fascinating. But Milo, is having a hard time dealing with that, so Key is trying to help him get over that fear by taking him to the catacombs or some shit, and it's like, no, don't do that. Exposure therapy is terrible. Don't do shit like that. Meanwhile, it's just trying to get on and figure things out. Ciel is trying to kind of prove herself as always. We're setting up for our first match, like, with the Knights. And I'm very curious to see how that ends up going. But I think we'll just check out this episode and see what we have in store. So let's get into it. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. And our first game is a victory, which it kind of had to be, like, with all the setup, all the build-up, all the expectation placed on them with being, a newly revived banner team and all. There was really no choice but to win. Like, I'm not saying they have to win every game, and I honestly don't expect them to, but they had to absolutely win their first game. That was a necessity.
Um, so this episode really has like two kind of main factors to it. It's the entire like continuation from last time and everything like starting off with Key trying to force Milo into this like exposure therapy and just completely fucking up their friendship to the point where Milo temporarily quits the team and like stops being friends with Key because of it. And although it's very temporary because obviously it was always going to be, it's absolutely valid. And Key just he's so excitable and so like childish that he doesn't think things through to the point where he not just makes mistakes but really fucks up in some serious ways. And he's a kid, he's allowed to do that. But that doesn't mean that he can't learn from it, and he shouldn't learn from it. He absolutely should. He absolutely should learn from all of his fuck ups and mistakes. That's the point of fucking up and making mistakes. Learning from it and growing as a person. And so, like, having this happen, it's like, yeah, he broke Milo's trust. And it was the right thing that he had to apologize to him, by the way, not CL. Not Oddward, not anyone else. But he had to apologize very specifically to Milo. And I'm glad that in the end he did, even though he could have done it maybe a little better. But Milo forgave him. They're friends again. They're on good terms. But he does warn Key not to do something like that again, which is good and smart. And the thing is, I think Key is willing to learn. I think Key is the kind of character who's absolutely going to take that to heart. In fact, I think he might even be afraid of hurting Milo's feelings again. I kind of hope he doesn't like overcompensate with that because that could also lead to problems, but we'll see how it goes. Um, but we see some other progression for characters through this too. CL gains a lot more confidence being the captain. This is something that's been like ever since the team was officially formed and her kind of being thrust into that position. It's something that she's been questioning. She's not been sure if she deserves to be the captain. She has some self-confidence issues. We've seen this since her debut in the first episode, and it's just the case of anxiety and nerves and not feeling like she's quite good enough yet, which is realistic. Again, she's a kid. She's young. She's trying to figure this all out still. It's like we don't know the exact ages of these characters, but it's like it's very clear that the characters' ages vary greatly. I you could see this as being like all of middle school, high school ages, pretty much. Like Ragna, for example, is definitely like what 16, 17 years old. But then you have someone like Key who's like what 13, maybe 14. You could push that, but like right around there. And it's like then you have characters who it's just very unclear with, like Progrina. It's like Progrina might be older because she had been here already for a year. She might be like around 15, but might just be like little because it's part of her like entirely creepy thing. And like I think all of our main crew are kind of on the younger side, like around 13, 14. Um did we ever hear if Milo or Oddward was the older brother? You want to kind of automatically say Oddward, but I don't remember if it's said. But either way, I think one of them. I think they're like a year apart, probably. Um, I think Ameline's probably the same age as like Key and Ciel. I think they're all three of them are the same age, and I think Milo is like maybe the same age or maybe a year older. It just really depends on like who is the older sibling between him and Oddward. I don't remember if it said that or not. If it hasn't, do not tell me. But if it did say which one is the older sibling, let me know. But yeah, CL is a very interesting character to see her development and her just self-confidence go up. Obviously, we have Key, like, still trying to learn how to control his Tama. Him combining it with Milo's was freaking awesome. Like, even Oddward himself was super impressed by that, and he doesn't get impressed by much. But his tsundere act is definitely dropping. He's definitely, like, connecting with them more, and again, he can't argue that that was just awesome. um, I liked seeing more of Pagrina in this episode because there's definitely implication of things here. First, we see like a little glimpse at like what she used to look like before she got the diadem, and she looked a lot more timid and like maybe shy and anxious and everything. She definitely didn't have the confidence that she purports in the current day. And then when they lost, like even before Goy and Sangha had a chance to like, you know, demote her or anything, like she was in full-blown tears. She was like really genuinely upset. That wasn't just the reaction of someone who lost the game and was like irritated by it or whatnot. She was like actually like genuinely crying. And it's like it weirdly made me feel bad for her. And it makes me wonder a couple of things. One, did she know that her captainship was on the line? Did she know that she would be demoted if they lost? Was that already told to her? Goyen Sanga is interesting because it's like, I don't know how like antagonistic he is. He definitely was angry that they lost. But, like, in the crypt, he wasn't as antagonistic. He was just kind of mysterious and weird. So it's like, I haven't quite figured him out yet. But I'm wondering if he did threaten Pagrino about this. Saying, like, if you dare lose to them, to the likes of them, you'll lose your captainship. And maybe that's why she's crying. But I'm wondering, like, maybe not. Maybe she's, like, this really upset her for some other reason. And it might have more to do with the diadem, like with losing that and losing her power, losing her, you know, control over things. Because if she was very timid, very like, I don't want to say lowly because that sounds terrible for a number of reasons, but you know what I mean. Very low on herself and not having a lot of confidence and all. I can see how losing the diadem and losing all of that power and that enhancement could really upset her. Because it feels like she's losing grip on everything that made her good, that made her popular, that made her, like, be respected. And if she was really that, like, low on herself, if she really just didn't have a lot of self-confidence or care or love or anything, then falling back into that through this would definitely fuck her up. And so I don't know. I'm wondering if there's more to her, basically. Because there was definitely the implication of such in this episode. And I hope that we get, like, follow-up. We were told that she's apparently vowed revenge, so maybe we'll get a follow-up with that. Whether in the next episode or in the future. But I'm very curious, like, who we're going to face next. We're obviously not going to face the dragons. They're going to be, like, we're going to work our way to that. I'm thinking maybe the next game that the Knights will have is against maybe the Roses. We might have I don't know. The Roses and the Bards, I'm not quite sure which one would be higher up. Goyen's Sunspear does seem a little more focused on than the Rose Goyen, who I cannot remember her name. So maybe that one would be a bigger. So maybe he and the Bards would be a bigger threat overall. Again, the dragons would obviously be last, but I'm very curious to see how this goes. There's a lot of great setup in here. Again, I love how Oddward is warming up to the gang, and this is just continuing to get like really, really good. I'm loving everything about this, really. The animation's getting better too, by the way. I've been noticing that the animation's been progressively getting better, and I think it's that they've been holding off on some of that until later episodes so they could really show off, especially during these games. Because it's like seeing the animation on Pagrina's ghost stuff, especially when she used her ultimate move and all, and then of course the jelly dragon. It's like, Jesus, they really went all out on those. In the best way possible. It was so good. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Obviously, no spoilers for the rest of them, because there's like, what, 11 or so episodes out? Something like that currently. And then the second half of season 1, I think, is coming sometime early next year. I think is what has been said. But yeah, I'm very excited for more. Just no spoilers. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.